So, you've realized that you need a swaddle for your baby, but you need to find one that actually works. Well, lucky for you, I've tested about 8 different swaddles, and I've finally found the ones that work for my baby. Hi, I'm Chelsea. Welcome to my channel. In this video, we are going to go over the 8 different swaddles that I bought for my baby. I'm going to tell you what worked for him and what didn't, as well as go over each feature of every swaddle so that you can make an informed decision about what's going to work for you and your baby. Below, I will link each swaddle so that you can get your own if you find one that you think will suit yours and your baby's needs. Let's get to it. Okay, first off, we have Comfy Cubs Swaddle. So this one retails for about $42, and it comes in a pack of 3 on Amazon. Unfortunately, I don't think that you can buy just a single one. Correct me if I'm wrong. But this one is actually quite neat. This was the first swaddle that we bought. The way that it works is their little legs just go into this pouch here, and then you lift this up here, and then this comes around holding down their right arm, and it velcros down here, and then this part over here, and I have these like ear things, whatever they are, goes over the left arm, holding it down, and velcros right here. So they're gonna look like this. Okay, their little head is going to come up here. The only thing that I really didn't like about this swaddle was that his second hand seemed to always be out, and it made for him escaping the swaddle quite often. So, I mean, it was good for a little bit, but he got stronger and we needed something a little bit different. Next, we have the Narutoo. This one retails for about $31 on Amazon. This one is actually really nice and lightweight, I found. For any sweaty babies, this is really, really great, a lot of airflow, and it's very, very thin. Okay, so the way that this works, there's no Velcro or anything like that. It's just a zipper, so their little hands go in here, right? So they're gonna look like this, and their head will be right here. The reason that their hands are like this is so that they can self-soothe. So it is a little bit of like a transition type of swaddle if your baby needs that. Our baby wasn't really quite ready for this. Unfortunately, the startle reflex still woke him up because his hands were up here. But I really loved the idea of this swaddle, and I wished that it worked because it was so lightweight and it helped a lot with his sweatiness at night. Another really nice feature about this swaddle is that the bottom comes up so that you can do night changes easily without waking them. So you don't have to take them out of the swaddle. You can just take their little legs out and bring the swaddle up. Next, we have the Happiest baby on the block, Sleeppea 5-second swaddle. This one retails for about $40 each. The way that this one works is there's Velcro in here. So this Velcros around his arms. So you make sure that he has one arm down, the other arm down, you Velcro over. And then you Velcro this between their legs up like that. This is a really, really nice feature because if your baby is a little bit too small for the swaddle, this is going to keep them in place. Or even if they're not and they're just strong and they bring their arms up, this keeps the whole swaddle in place so it doesn't come up around their face or their neck or anything like that. So I really, really liked this feature for that reason. My baby is starting to get a little bit too strong, and he can get his arms up, but again, the nice thing is that this part is not coming up around his neck or anything like that. Even though he can get his arms up at this point, the nice thing about this is that it zips up and it's quite tight around this area. So his hands coming up doesn't wake him up. They're just a little bit more free in there, but they can't come out of the swaddle. So he doesn't end up waking up. So we still use these, and we bought about 3 of them. We absolutely love them. The other really nice feature about this one is that it has mesh right here and right here. So it keeps the baby cool at night. If you have a hot baby, or even if it's summer or anything like that, this is really nice for airflow. Another really nice feature about this one is it also has the double zipper so that you can pull this zipper up and pull out You do have to take off this Velcro part, but I've never found that it wakes up my baby if I have to do a night change at night. So you just take off the Velcro, pull it down, pull this up, have their little legs out and do your diaper change, and then you don't have to wake them up. Their hands are still swaddled. They're good to go. Next up, we have the Halo Swaddle. So this one retails for about $35 on Amazon. The way that this one works is a little bit different from the other ones. So this only has one-way zipper. So it only zippers from the bottom, which is not my favorite feature, but it might work for somebody else. You have to zip up here, and then zip down, putting your baby in. See, I can't even do it. Can you tell I haven't used this one very often? And then you zip it down, their little head goes up here, and their arms come out the sides, so it's basically like a SleepSack. And then, to strap their arms down, you bring this around to strap down their right, and then bring this one around, strap down the left. There's a few things that I really didn't like about this. Number one, I felt like it was a little bit too warm for my baby. My baby runs hot. If your baby is cold, then it might be good for your baby. The other thing that I really didn't like about it, and I don't know if maybe it'll work for somebody else, but I felt like my baby was too strong, and he was able to get out of this so quick. I never could put him in it and have him stay in it. So there is another feature to this if this helps make your decision. Maybe you like this feature, but it is another transition swaddle. So if you wanted to, you could just have it as a SleepSack and put this around to keep them warm so that their arms are out, or you could have one arm down, one arm out, whatever you wanted to do with this one. Next, we have the Nested Bean Zen Neo. So this one retails for $52 American for a 2-pack. When I bought it, you were able to get a single one. I don't remember how much I bought it for, but I was only able to get it in the States. I don't know if you can get it in Canada anymore. I did look for it, but I didn't see it. I did really like this swaddle, but it only worked for me for a few weeks. The way that this does work is, again, this one has another zipper at the bottom for the night changes, which is great. And then it has a zipper at the top too. So it is basically just a little pod, so you just plop them in here, arms and everything. Their head comes out the top. And it's very lightweight and very thin, so I liked it for that reason. And I did also really like that he was able to move around in there and not feel super strapped in. But he also had this little weighted part around his chest. So he did feel like secure and like he had a little bit of weighted without feeling too hot. So this part is full of beans. Next we have the Nested Bean Zen 1. The nice thing about this swaddle, there's a few good things and a few bad things. So I've actually only used this swaddle once because when I bought it, my baby was too small for it, and I put it on him, and this part here would strap his arms down, but when he would pull his arms up, it rode up to like around this area, and everything was kind of bunched up there, so I was afraid to put him back into it. But now he's a little bit too big for it, so we've just never really worn it. But this is the 0 to 6 months, so it does run a little bit small. But the way that it works is it's got this band here that straps their arms down, and then it zips up here, and it has the beans right here and right here. This one does also have the zipper down here for the night changes. And if you wanted to, you can make this a transition swaddle by putting their hands up in here, or you can even zip these off to make it a SleepSack, which is not a very easy thing to do, apparently. There we go. Next we have the Anha Eve Swaddle Band. So this one retails for about $24 on Amazon. This is the knockoff of Anna and Eve, which is about $80 on Amazon, which I don't recommend spending $80 on a swaddle band. So something that I really like about this one is that it is really nice for a hot baby or, you know, really hot nights or anything like that, because obviously it just holds down their arms. The thing that I don't like about it though is that there really isn't any sort of zip up or anything like that that helps to keep everything in. So my baby very easily escapes from this, unfortunately. But if your baby is not very strong, then maybe it'll work for you. I wish that it worked a little bit better for us, but we do still use it. I really, really wish that somebody would come out with something like this, but with just a mesh zip-up pod to go around it. That would be my dream swaddle. If you're watching this and you create swaddles, please make one for me. So the way that this one works, this part here goes around their little body, and then there's little cushions here, so their arms go around the cushions, and then this goes around their arms, so it's just a band around their body basically. Obviously that one's really good for night change. Okay, last but not least we have the Dreamland Baby Weighted Swaddle. So this one has the nighttime changing zipper, which is really handy again. The way that this one works is it has a band on the inside. Again, it's Velcro, so this just goes around their little arms, it brings them down. And the really nice thing about this one is it holds his little arms down. He has not been able to get out of it, but the other really nice thing about it is that we can just open this if he gets a little bit too hot and just keep his arms down, or sometimes he wants to have his arms a little bit more free, so we take his arms out of the swaddle and just put this part around his body and zip up the sack so that he can have his arms free and feel a little bit more comfortable. So then it just zips up here, and it's weighted all on the whole front of the swaddle. So this one retails for $109 on snugglebug.ca. I love, love, love this swaddle. This one and the Happiest Baby on the Block are the two that we use the most. We usually switch between the two depending on the night. If it's a really hot night, then we'll use the Happiest Baby, or if it's a little bit warmer, then we use this one because he sleeps really, really well with the weighted blanket on it. And again, the fact that it can keep his arms down and he's not uncomfortable is really, really great. Well, I hope that this video gave you a little bit of clarity on what kind of swaddle you'd like to use for your baby. If you like this video, hug that subscribe button and stay classy, San Diego.